What's up, everybody? So today we're back in the garage with the Subaru. Now last video you guys saw, we brought the car in, we kind of reintroduced it to the channel, and we tried to diagnose the issue as to why it wouldn't run. So we went through, started here with the engine bay, tested the fuel at the beginning of the filter and at the end of the filter to see if we were getting fuel to the rail itself, and we weren't getting anything. We could hear the relay click, and we could see that we were getting power to the fuel pump itself, but nothing was happening. So we came to the conclusion that our fuel pump was faulty. Now we pulled that whole assembly out, and it was quite crusty and rusty and not in good shape. So we're gonna go ahead and replace all that stuff today. Now I know I mentioned in the previous video that I want to go through and do an upgrade to the fuel pump, but I figured, you know what? What's better than OEM? So that's exactly what we got. So with that being said, let's go and show you guys what we got and then get into this install. So like I said, in order to fix our issue, I ended up picking up a whole new fuel pump and sending unit assembly from Subaru. So as you can see here, it is a nice, clean, brand new unit. Got the new sock on there, new fuel pump, new level indicator, all that stuff there, new wiring. Everything is brand new and in perfect condition. So we've got that whole replacement. And if you guys are looking to do this yourself, there is the part number for the fuel pump. But yeah, this will be much nicer. And like I said, I figured we'd stick with the OEM. And if I want to go through and replace the pump for when we do decide to do something else with the engine, I can always go back and do it, knowing that we have a nice brand new assembly here. So now you guys have seen that. Let's go ahead, swap out the old one for this new one, see if we can get the car to run. Oh yeah, and I also picked this up here. This is a brand new fuel filter from Subaru as well, just because I figured, you know what, if we're gonna do all that, we might as well replace that one, because the one in the engine bay was looking pretty bad as well. So we got the new fuel pump, new fuel sending unit, all that stuff, and the new fuel filter. So let's go ahead, jump into the install, and take the old one back out and put this new one in. So now you guys have seen the fuel pump replacement that we're gonna be using. We'll go ahead and come back in here to the back seat. We still have it down from previously before, and our cover is currently off. So we had the 4 screws that were holding it down on top, and then there's like those 6 to 8 nuts that are holding the fuel pump in place. So we just have to remove those 3 lines here, as well as this plug here, and then we can go ahead and pull the whole thing out. The only thing I found that was tricky was this clip here. You just kind of got to push it in and then pull the line back and try not to break it. But yeah, that is what it looks like currently. As you can see there, this one is quite rusty looking compared to the new one. So we'll go and pop this whole thing back out and swap it out for the new one. Fuel pump is now out. Got it sitting over here on the table, and like I said, this one is quite crusty and disgusting, so I figured might as well go and replace the whole thing. And you guys can see it today. This one, like I said, is all brand new. So first things first, let's go and open this one up out of the packaging and just make sure 100% that they are exactly the same. All right, so there you guys can see side by side, they look to be identical. All the wiring and stuff there on the back side. Got the brand new gasket. The tops have the same hoses, and the plugs are exactly the same, the 6-post plugs there. So we'll go ahead now and throw this one in the car. It's all been replaced now, so before we go ahead and cover this all up, we're going to make sure it works. But before we go through and do that, I'm going to go through and change out the filter before we have a bunch of fuel going to the rail there. So let's go and change out that fuel filter, and then we go and give this thing a test. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop out this filter, put the new one on there, give this thing a test.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we managed to get that fuel filter out of the way. That thing was a pain. It was stuck on these hoses so bad. Couldn't get them to pop off cleanly, and I ended up just kind of tearing this hose here. So I think what I'm gonna do, run to the store real quick, get a replacement hose for here and here. Actually, I think I'm just gonna replace these 3 lines. I mean, we've got just the inlet return and then the evap line. So we'll go ahead, replace them 3 here from these hard lines here. So it's just the same thing, those little clamps there with the screws. Slide it off, replace them, because yeah, they're pretty bad. So we'll just get them all 3 replaced. Now we got a new fuel filter on there, new fuel lines, everything should be good to go. So let's go and test this thing out, see if it starts. Hopefully not any leaks here, but yeah, let's go and test it out, see if the car actually starts. Let's go and see what happens. I can hear the pump engaging back there, so that's a good sign. Let's go make sure we don't have any leaks up here first, because the system should be pressurized now, full of fuel. I don't see anything hanging out. Everything seems to be pretty dry. So let's give her a crank. Oh, the battery's dying. Okay, let's go ahead and charge that up. Okay, so let's try again. We got the battery charger hooked up, getting that battery fully juiced. So now we should be good to give this thing a start now. Ooh, she want to start. Oh, yes. It's alive, sweet. I'm turn my radio down here, but yeah, fuel pump fixed the issue, so now the car's running. Let's go ahead and check and make sure that's not leaking or anything underneath the hood here. I don't see any leaks. Check the back out here as well. Got no leaks there, so it's looking good to me. And the other thing I want to check out here was our fuel gauge. It doesn't seem to have adjusted at all. Still looks like it's still staying the same, so we'll see if that changes as the car kind of runs here for a minute, but so far so good. And you can see there, gas gauge works. So everything seems to be good so far. Let's go ahead and button this thing up. So there you guys have it. We got the car back up and running once again, which is awesome. I don't have to push this thing around anymore because this thing's kind of a big old paperweight to be moving around. But now that it does run and drive once again, we can go ahead and move on into the next stuff coming up. So you guys have to wait and stay tuned for that. This video is just kind of mostly focusing on getting it back up and running, and I'm so glad it was just the fuel pump that was the issue. So now we got it taken care of. Here in the next upcoming videos, we got to go through. We'll probably do timing at some point. We'll do addressing the oil leak that's on this car. I know it's got a little bit of an oil leak, and we'll get that taken care of. And then we'll go through, give this car a nice deep clean, because the exterior, the interior, the engine bay, all quite gross. Obviously the exterior, not too worried about. It's gonna need a lot of body work, but the rest of it, it's gonna need a good thorough cleaning. So stay tuned for all that stuff, plus a bunch of other stuff to come. Like I said in the previous video, we got the manual transmission, full interior to swap out and do all that fun stuff. So you guys have to wait, stay tuned for that. But hopefully this video helps you guys out if you guys are having this issue of a fuel pump problem on your vehicle. If it did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, we got plenty more stuff coming. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next one.